Good morning and welcome to This Week. Christie crushes it.
I love you, New Jersey. Thank you very much.
After his commanding win, Chris Christie here live has his blue state landslide made him the GOP's man to beat. Can he win over the Tea Party and unite Republicans?
Never too early to come to office.
And what about Texas Governor Rick Perry? He's back in Iowa. We get answers from both Christie, Perry, only on This Week. Plus, nuclear talks with Iran stall overnight. We've got breaking details. All that, the Powerhouse Roundtable, a crack-smoking mayor, and Senator John Goodman. It's all right here this Sunday morning.
From ABC News, This Week with George Stephanopoulos starts now.
And we begin with two breaking stories. Secretary of State John Kerry leaving Geneva early this morning without a deal over Iran's nuclear program, and new images and information streaming in on that typhoon that has devastated the Philippines. Officials now fear at least 10,000 are dead. They haven't even reached so many of the hardest hit places. Ginger Zee has been tracking this tragedy. And Ginger, this may have been the strongest storm ever to hit land.
Right. And that's why meteorologically at first it was fascinating, George. But as we look as a human, these images are just terrifying, horrifying. So many adjectives you could use. But we're just starting to see the first aerial pictures of what has happened there in the central Philippine Islands. And here's what we know. We know that more than 9.5 million people were affected by this storm. We know that in some places it did not just damage or destroy, but wiped clean. And that's why some of the roads are still choked with debris, transportation shut down. We're not going to get big answers and confirmed answers for quite a while, maybe even weeks at a time. So many people affected, and we're hearing stories from inside the zone, social media and otherwise, where they don't have water. They don't have food. And I always call this the second storm. Even though the storm is well off, it's going to northern parts of or southeastern China. That's really not going to affect many people in northern Vietnam, much less of a storm. But again, that second storm, the human part that happens, George, as we watch all of this the next couple of weeks, months, and years.
And the U.S. military on its way to help now. Thank you, Ginger. Now to the breakdown of those high-level negotiations over Iran's nuclear program. The weekend began with hope for a deal dashed late yesterday after marathon talks. But Secretary Kerry is not giving up.
There's no question in my mind that we are closer now as we leave Geneva than we were when we came, and that with good work and good faith over the course of the next weeks, we can, in fact, secure our goal.
ABC's chief foreign correspondent Terry Moran has more on this from London. And Terry, things seem to take a turn after the French joined the talks.
That's right, George. What a whirlwind of talks it's been. Just a few hours ago, there was this huge anticipation, even a giddiness in diplomatic circles, that this historic first step confidence-building deal was about to be done. And what happened, as you point out? Well, the French happened, as Secretary Kerry concluded marathon talks directly with Iranian officials. Unprecedented sight there, really. The French stepped in and said this proposal wasn't tough enough. They wanted more restrictions on Iran's ability to enrich uranium, control of a new reactor that might produce plutonium, and they called a halt to it all. The Iranians have responded on Twitter. Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei is on Twitter, naturally, and he said that French officials have been openly hostile to the Iranian nation, but the talks will continue.
Secretary Kerry hoping that they can reach a deal, November 20th?
That's right. That's when the talks resume. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who lobbied very intensely to call a halt to this impending deal, said that he was happy with the delay, but that he doesn't fool himself. He believes a deal will get done. And make no mistake, George, it is historic in proportions and will change that region.
Okay, Terry, thanks very much.